Hi, I'm Miles.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
And welcome to Moonstone Elements.
Today we're going to be interviewing Kristy Moore-Hernandez
About quantum biofeedback.
Thanks for watching.
So the first thing I would like to ask is, what is quantum biofeedback?
Well, quantum biofeedback, to get it to the simplest term, I would say is consciousness medicine.
Okay.
Would you like me to expand on that?
Yes. I don't know what to say.
That's okay. A lot of people don't know what to say about quantum biofeedback because they don't really understand the foundation. A lot of people try to take quantum biofeedback and make it fit into the Western medical modality, when actuality is quantum biofeedback is a different way. It's a way of harnessing the power of the mind and getting it interfaced with your body electric.
Oh wow, that sounds interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So what are the benefits for my health? How will biofeedback affect my health in a way?
Well, quantum biofeedback, because it interfaces with your body electric and your superconsciousness, your mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's the verbal mind, what we're using now as we speak to one another, but you also have a much larger aspect of yourself called the unconscious, is what science calls it, but in quantum biofeedback, we have a little more respect for it, and we call it the super consciousness.
Oh. And what is that?
That's the part of you, Miles, that knows everything about you. It knows all your experiences. It knows what's affected you negatively and positively. And these things, these experiences that you've had through your life, they get trapped in our fields. You have this whole field around you.
Okay.
So with quantum biofeedback and interfacing with the body electric and talking to the superconsciousness, we can find these blockages and we can send in a neutralizing frequency to help dissipate this.
Okay. What is scalar energy?
Well, scalar energy is a wave that comes off the earth. It's a naturally occurring wave.
Okay.
And it goes in like the rhythm of the ocean waves in a rolling fashion.
And it's nonstop. It just keeps going.
That's right.
Okay. How does this machine, the indigo, scan my body in the waves and the frequency?
Well, first of all, it's a device. A machine has moving parts. This doesn't, so we call it a device. And basically, it's sort of like how my car works. I don't really go and lift the hood and analyze that engine, but I have enough confidence and faith in the engineers that put it together, and I took my lessons on how to drive it properly, and I know how to put the key in and go.
Okay, so you know a lot about them.
So in the technology aspect of how does that thing scan, it does it with frequencies. And you know how frequencies, like right now we use cell phones,
Yeah.
and they don't
That's
have,
not.
well, but they're frequencies. They're sending out frequencies so you can hear people on the other end. This is basically a frequency generator
Okay.
that's run by a computer program. So that makes it the largest medical software placed on a cybernetic loop. So it can go in and detect those aberrant frequencies, that stress that you might have felt when you were a little girl and you fell and scraped your knee.
Okay.
It can detect traumas,
Right.
nutritional deficiencies, or excess.
And your past as well.
Past and present.
Okay.
And then it can kind of help give you guidelines where you can make lifestyle changes. Some things are out of our control, but there are many things that are in our control, and all we need is more awareness of them. Then we can make better informed choices.
That's true.
and take responsibility for our wonderful health.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for answering my questions.
Anytime, Miles.
Thanks. All right.
I thought they were wonderful questions, and I would love to expand upon them anytime
Thank
you
you.
want.
Thanks. All right.
Thanks. Hi, hi Kristy.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. I'm going to ask you a few questions today. The first one is, what are a few things you're grateful for and love about your life?
Wow. Well, in the physical world, I'm very grateful for my family, my friends, and my clients, and my physical body. And I guess the ultimate thing I'm grateful for is second chances.
Wow,
Second chance.
that's true.
It's the kind of the most remarkable thing about life is that there's always a second chance. And for me, I was given many second chances with my health. And I feel so very grateful that I was blessed and led down the road to quantum biofeedback.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, my next question is, how has your intuition guided you to follow the path in life that you were on?
Oh, it's everything. I've always had an inner knowing, even when I was little. And often as a child, because I was a child, and I wanted to do intuition, I intuitively felt to go have fun, of course.
Yeah.
And adults would kind of squash that idea.
Yeah, they do for children.
And I did notice when there were things that I wanted to do that might not have looked like the right thing to do at that moment, and whatever an adult had stopped me, it was later, as I became an adult, that I reflected back on those times and realized that was my intuition guiding me. But it didn't match what was going on with the proper societal activities of the time.
Yeah, no, not at all.
When I became an adult and realized the value of intuition and really started to work with it when I became pregnant for the first time when I was 24. And pregnancy does certainly open up a lot of channels for a woman. And I noticed that I was highly psychic or highly intuitive at that time.
Wow. Oh, that's how you kind of first
That's
really
where
found
I
out?
really
Wow.
noticed.
That's interesting.
Also because pregnancy will slow you down a little bit and
that's
make
true.
you get so big you can't go run around, and you
Yeah.
last few weeks you are sitting
You
quietly.
kind of have to be by yourself. Yeah, take time for yourself.
Very much so.
It's true.
And I remember those inner conversations, very
Wow.
much intuitive guidance.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do the best for my children.
Yeah, because it's not about you anymore. It's completely different.
Correct. And
Yeah.
there's something at that time I realized the power of future generations.
Oh, wow.
So I remember consciously working on following my intuitive guidance. And it is a interesting little story. I ended up being the only female, the only mom, new mother at the hospital in 1980,
Wow.
demanding to breastfeed.
Oh, the only one?
The
Wow.
only one. Nobody breastfed
Oh my
back then.
gosh. Wow.
And of course, they sent in many people to try to convince me that wasn't a good idea. But I said, I read a book on it, and I felt the intuitive guidance to do that. And I
Yeah.
stood up for myself.
That's good.
I wanted to protect my child. I had done my homework, had done the research. And I remember so clearly when I won, and they brought me my baby, and I had a successful breastfeeding moment, and this amazing intuitive graduation happened.
Yeah.
And from that moment on,
That's amazing.
I said, I am going to follow my intuitive guidance.
Wow. Yeah.
It has saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
It has saved my children's lives.
Wow.
And it has made me a fuller person.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing.
So
That's so
intuition
good.
is very, very important to me.
Yeah. Wow.
And to you too.
Yeah. So you're not like led down the wrong path. You're always doing
It's
the thing that's
always there to guide you.
yeah.
Your
Agree.
job is to learn
To-
how to
yeah.
communicate with it.
To listen and stuff. And if you have like a sign or something, don't ignore it. Just yeah. So
Because
true.
the
Trust
universe
it.
will
Yeah.
send it to you through your senses,
Mhm.
but also I've noticed that it'll come up in the environment.
You're right.
You'll
yeah.
start seeing little
You
funny
notice that.
things that
Mhm. Synchronicities and stuff.
yeah, little synchronicities that will
Yeah.
tell you.
You're on the right path.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's so interesting. What do you like about helping to enlighten people about their health and wellness? Because I know that is your job basically. Because when you're doing biofeedback, you're telling people things that they don't really know about their own bodies, and you're kind of expanding their consciousness and their awareness. Yeah.
Well, that goes back to my own personal beliefs that what we give to others, we're ultimately giving to ourselves.
Wow.
So when I have a client that I can give awareness to, that means I'm increasing my own awareness. And I think it's very important for all of humanity to raise their awareness to the things that are going on around us. Raise our awareness to become more aware of our intuition. So for me, helping another person expand consciousness, it means we're expanding it for myself and for the earth
Yeah.
and for the future generations.
That's what's important. Wow. It's true. You're helping the world by helping
That's
yourself
right.
and other people. It's amazing.
That's right.
Wow.
When you work on yourself, it is one of the best things you can do to help the world.
And my next question is, what's one of the most rewarding experiences you've had with a client, personally?
Mm.
It doesn't have to be the most rewarding, but just anything that you want to share.
Wow.
I know, that's a hard
Well,
question.
there was. I guess. Wow, you stumped me.
I know. I know, that's a big...
Well, for myself, I mean, I had a lot of rewards in working on myself, and because I was very ill, and I got myself back. But I think it might be when I work on little kids, because little kids, they've only had a few years on the planet. They've only collected a little bit of stress, hopefully,
Yeah, hopefully.
and they respond so quickly.
Yeah, because they have no resistance or
None.
blockages.
And it's so it's always exciting when a child is ill. Not that that's exciting,
but to see the process.
but to see the process happen and see the frequencies and the other modalities that we use to stay in wellness. When that little kid sits up and says, "My stomach doesn't hurt anymore."
That's so rewarding. That's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, to the mom, that means everything. The whole world. Wow.
So I like it with kids and adults. They have a lot of resistance sometimes, and sometimes it takes a lot longer. And they come from a mindset where they're used to popping a pill.
Yep, exactly.
And a little kid just knows it feels good or it doesn't.
They feel better. They're healing.
So they're better or they're not.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah,
It's true.
so
It's so simple.
I do think
Mhm.
working on little kids is very rewarding.
That's beautiful. And you have 3 little granddaughters and a baby on the way. So
Yeah.
that's exciting for you. Yeah.
Very excited.
So you get to work on them all the time. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking your time to interview.
You're welcome, Kelly.
You're
Thank you. And I hope everyone will embrace their intuitive insights that they get every day.
I agree. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi everybody, I'm going to be interviewing Kristy now, myself, with my questions. Okay, so the first question I have is, what kind of people have you noticed are attracted to or could benefit the most from a session with you?
Well, Most people who are attracted to a session with me are really smart and very open-minded, and I would say of a higher mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because what a session with me involves is consciousness.
Yes.
And people who would benefit are people who need to bring more awareness or consciousness into what's really going on behind the stress in their bodies, in their emotional bodies, their mental bodies, and their auric field. Stress is aberrant energy that's misplaced and is often misunderstood by Western practices.
Yes.
So what I use in my practice is, or not really, it's an experience, is consciousness medicine and using quantum biofeedback and other modalities.
Oh, can you explain some of those
stress.
other modalities?
Yeah, I'd love to. I also, when I conduct a quantum biofeedback session, if it's within my environment, which is what I do now.
Yeah.
You asked me how long have I been doing this, and I've been doing it quite a while.
Yeah.
But in my own environment, I use biogenesis, which is another technology for transformation for the human race, mankind. Yeah. I also instruct the usage of therapeutic grade essential oils, which is God's first medicine.
And I use those. I love them. Essential oils.
Highly beneficial.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, the quantum wave laser, which is using scalar wave and light to heal pain and inflammation, and it's also a great anti-aging tool.
Yeah.
Also, I'm very interested in instructing people on the value of whole food nutrition. I'm not talking about vitamin supplements, but whole food, the way nature grows it and the way we were intended to consume it. I love the good food. And so we're not talking about just a bunch of salad. I have all kinds of ways of preparing food that makes you want to eat more fruits and vegetables.
For like optimal nutrition.
For optimal, exactly. Because the body runs best on its original fuel, which is plants.
Yeah.
So that sums it up is quantum biofeedback.
Yeah.
Biogenesis.
Okay.
Therapeutic grade essential oils. Whole quantum wave laser. And whole food nutrition.
Yeah. So wow. So that sounds like a whole lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. A couple of hours in a session with me, you leave full of awareness for what your body needs, and also you've received frequency retraining to help remove. It's actually the correct FDA-approved way is to retrain your body to better handle aberrant energy, also known as stress. Yes, we're very limited in our language because people want to come from a more Western mindset, whereas or they come from an Eastern mindset, and this is a little bit different. It's coming from a quantum mindset.
Quantum, yes, like the whole experience.
Well, it's the act of observing. And just the act of observing yourself brings great potential for healing.
Definitely. And you get so much awareness from a session and like learning about yourself and stuff. And you discover like all these things that you never would have known. It's like under the surface things that, you have to
absolutely.
dive deep. Yeah, exactly.
Profound and how it can impact and make great. It's like small, subtle things making great changes.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. Well said. So my next question that brings us to is, what was the most significant illness or trauma that biofeedback or your other energetic tools has helped you to overcome and can give hope to others maybe who are experiencing the other thing?
Well, as a quantum biofeedback practitioner, I'm not allowed to give personal testimony. If I were, I could share how I basically saved my life
Exactly.
several times. So because I couldn't really share that, I have written a book, and I'll be releasing that book
Wow.
at the end of this year, and I will be turning myself more into a spokesperson.
Oh.
But to get to a place where I can talk about it is a narrow path.
Oh.
So I can say that I am a chemically intolerant person, which means my body cannot metabolize chemicals.
Mhm.
I was in the beginning, I started to go into obvious liver issues, and actually after having a medical exam was told I was in liver failure.
Oh my gosh.
And these are not things that are easily overcome without medical intervention. But
Yeah.
because of my chemical intolerance, I had to kick it up a notch
Mhm.
and find ways to take care of myself.
Yeah.
So, in that process is where I realized that I was more than just something that was broken, that I was actually normal,
Wow.
and that all of us are really on our way to chemical intolerance. And part of what quantum biofeedback does is help point that out and retrain the body to better handle
Wow.
and metabolize chemicals.
And that's sad, you know. It shouldn't be that way.
It
but
shouldn't, but shows like this help bring awareness to the human condition and the need to honor nature and what nature provides.
And the well-being that it already exists.
That's right. So with quantum biofeedback, what you basically are doing is retraining the body back to homeostasis. Homeostasis is where you are able to respond to a stress, become aware of it,
Yeah.
and bring the body's processes back into balance.
Perfect. Yes, exactly.
So, to answer your question, the most significant experience I have witnessed is the return of homeostasis to a body that is in loss of survival,
Basically.
not able to respond, and bring it back into a vital state.
Yeah.
And I've witnessed it several times, and it's fun.
Yeah, I myself have experienced being completely out of balance, and I know how like biofeedback has just snaps me right back in, and it's amazing every time. It's
That's great.
Yeah.
Isn't it wonderful to know about this
yeah,
and be able to experience
it's
it?
so awesome. Yes, it is. All right, so I might have a final question here for you today, and it is: how many years have you been working with alternative or energetic medicine? And how has your experience and knowledge you've gathered helped shape your own personal worldview or philosophy or even outlook on life?
My journey with alternative began in 1981. I was diagnosed with an allergy to a chemical called toluene. At that time, I was told to avoid it, that was the only solution. Well, I didn't even know what that was, so I had to begin educating myself. So that was the first step, was the awareness that the reason I was sick was because of all the things that were being put in me and on me.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the awareness began. It's interesting how it shaped my life, but it has so dramatically. And because that I couldn't go and just purchase whatever everybody else was, couldn't run into the beauty shop like
No.
everybody else,
Mhm.
I adopted and sought out alternative things, like just washing my hair became challenging.
Mhm.
And now today it's a lot easier. There's
It
many
is.
more
Yeah.
products. There
Thank
for a
goodness.
while, I won't even tell you what I was doing, but it was a challenge.
Mhm.
And I thought back in those early years that I was just, an exception to the rule. But as I became more aware and I worked on I've got like probably 5,000 hours doing quantum
Yeah,
biofeedback,
wow.
I began to realize that nobody is supposed to have benzene in them. Excuse me, toluene. Toluene is also known as methylbenzene.
Mhm.
And that these chemicals are insidious and they're everywhere, and they are the underpinnings of a lot of problems that people are having. And now that it's in the food source, I'm feeling extremely motivated to get out of my comfort zone and start to share with people what I know. So in a way, it has totally developed a philosophy that silence, this is my whole personal philosophy, that silence is a crime. That when you know something is going on and it's not right and you don't speak up, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting others, and you're ultimately hurting Mother Earth, our home. So that sums up my whole thing. It started with a trip to the doctor and finding out that I had this very unusual antigen, and it ended up saving my life.
Wow, that is an incredible story. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
And thanks for answering all those questions.
Well, thanks for asking, and thank you for inviting me on your show.
You're
I
welcome.
really enjoyed it.
Great. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching the Moonstone Elements channel.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.
Have a chill day!